What's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Diamond Minecart stock, Grim. And by the way, just in case you have any more building related needs, I would highly recommend that you check out the card system, because in there, if you like this build, I'll be leaving loads of other individual videos and playlists that I think that you guys will really want to check out. That is the card system. But, moving on. If you want to make Grim, here's what you're going to need. You don't need very many materials whatsoever. Grab yourself some white wool, some red wool, grab light grey wool, and finally guys, grab yourself some dark grey wool. And once you have each one of those four materials right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make them, I'll be making them right here. You're going to want to kick off Grim with a row of 8 white wool coming directly up from the floor. That's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. You then, once you have your row of 8 white, will want to stack an additional row of 8 directly to the right of it. We then want to do 2 more rows of 8, except they want to be 3 rows away to the right of those first initial 2 rows. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and then we want to stack 2 more rows of 8 white wool. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then directly to the right of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you want to have something which should look like this. And now we have the outline for Grim's 2 front legs. We have to make them 3D now. To do that, we want to add an additional layer of white directly in front of each one of the legs, like this. Perfect. What we now want to do is coming directly up to the top of the legs, on top of the legs, so balancing on top of the frontmost 4 rows of the legs, we want to stack a row of white wool. So we want to have a row of white wool directly at the top front portion of the legs. We then want to extend this row of white directly to the left 1 and to the right by 1 as well. On top of each one of those blocks that we have extended outwards, we want to go up by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then connect each one of those 6 blocks together, like that. Now, once you have it that shape, you want to take out your old pal the red wool, and in front of this top horizontal row of white that we have, stack a row of red wool in front of it. Then, coming down from the most left hand and most right hand block of your red wool, you want to extend 2 rows of red down that sit 1 row below the actual white rectangular shape that we've made. So it wants to come all the way down to here, and then down 1 more, like that. Then we want to connect those bottom blocks together, and that is Grim's collar, or almost it is. We then want to knock out the bottom 3 blocks of the collar, that's 1, 2, 3. The left and right hand blocks want to be dark grey wool, and the very middle block wants to be light grey wool. Oh, and we can also knock out that row of 3 red that I placed earlier as well. So, that is Grim's collar. It doesn't look exactly like this, because there should only be a gap of 2, and there should only be 2 blocks for the actual, like, shiny bit of the collar, the tag of the collar, but we had to alter the statue slightly, because unfortunately Minecraft doesn't work how you'd like it to work. So, once you have Grim's collar taken care of, this is what you want to do next, and this is the most difficult part of the tutorial, his head. So, take out the white wool. You want to, inside of, yet 1 row outwards from the collar, do a rectangular layer of white wool. So, going all the way around the inside of the collar, yet 1 row outwards from it, coming out in front of the statue, you want to do a rectangular shape of white wool, like this. Once you have that, you then want to stack 2 additional rows of white in front of it. So this will almost be 1, and we're kind of like halfway to 2 as well, because unfortunately it did that weird thing where it stacks blocks in front of each other in kind of like a miss one pattern instead of actually placing blocks, but that's okay because it worked out nicely. So we want to have in total 3 layers of white wool coming out in front of the statue. That's 1 plus 2, 3. Once you have this, this is what you want to do next. So we now want to take the most outward row of white, the most outward rectangular shape of white. We want to take the top 3 middle blocks of white, extend them down until they reach the bottom of the white rectangle like this. We then want to fill in, starting from the bottom, 2 rows of white. That's 1, 2, 2, and 1, 2, like that. We then want to take the bottom 3 blocks, bottom 3 middle blocks of the most outward portion of the face. We got there in the end. And we want to extend them coming out in front of the statue each by 3. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We then want to do 2 layers of white on top. So that'll be 1 layer. And that will be 2 layers. Like so. We now want to come all the way up to the top of the head, and on top of the top left hand corner of the head, and on top of the top right hand corner of the head, we want to do 2 rows of 2 white. That'll be 1, 2, and 1, 2. So we want to have something which should look like this. This obviously isn't Grimm's face. It's now time for us to make it a little bit more detailed, and this happens quickly and it looks really cool. So just take a look at how this looks now, and remember how this looks because this is about to get cool. So once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. First of all, take the top center row of the nose and destroy it completely, going all the way into the face, so we can now see through the top center row of the nose all the way into the face. Then take each one of the eyes, smash the 2 blocks to the left of them, and then the 2 blocks behind the 2 blocks that you smashed. So 2 blocks on the left, 2 behind. So that'll be 2 blocks on the right this time, 2 blocks behind, to form the eyes. Looking better already. We then want to come all the way down to the bottom under part of the face, and it's actually easier to see it from the side, I suppose. So we're on the left hand side, and we want to knock out these 2 bottom rows that are closest to the actual statue itself. So we want to knock out these 2 rows completely. So we just replace that. We want to end up with something that should look, just from the bottom, or again from the side because it's easier, we want to end up with something that should look like this. And once you've done that, you've actually done all of the parts of Grimm's face, and doesn't that look so much better? Grimm's face is actually my favourite part of the statue because it is really, really cool looking. I really like this. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what we want to do next, guys. So once the face is done, everything else is quite simple. Come all the way up to the top back portion of the statue. You're looking for the row that sits just behind the collar. Find the top 3 center blocks and extend them. Come in towards where the back of the statue is going to be each by 4. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. The very second one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this right hand one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. What we now want to do is we want to take this second block that we extended, and we want to make, can you guys see this rectangular shape that we have right here that sits just behind the collar? Well, we want to do that to this second block that we extended, like this. We want to extend it going all the way around like this, and it just wants to form the same shape as that small white rectangle. So we just want to extend that block coming outwards, and you can see that we've matched it. And we want to do the very same missing 1 row to the 4th block here, so we want to form the exact same shape. And this will make up some of Grimm's ribs. And actually he doesn't have any more ribs from this point onwards, but these make up Grimm's ribs. So it wants to look a little something like this, which is again very cool. I really like this design. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So coming all the way back to these 3 center blocks that we extended, we now want to, underneath yet outwards from, still coming back, we want to do another layer of 3 white walls. So if you guys can see, in the center, underneath and outwards from, we want another row of 3 white wall. We then want to take each one of those 3 white walls and extend them, coming back each by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so on and so forth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just the one last time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like this, and that is obviously Grimm's spine. Once you have that taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. So we want to take the last 4 blocks that we just placed, and we want to extend them going right and left. So right, left, each out by 1. So that's the last 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the opposite side as well. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to take the 3 blocks and we want to extend them out a further 1. So the last 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and the other 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3. So we kind of have like a, I suppose it's kind of like a pelvis looking shape. Once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to do next, guys. So what we now want to have is we want to, let's come onto the left hand side of Grimm. You can see where we have these outward 3 blocks. Well, take the very back 3rd block, the very back corner block, and extend this down by 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then extend it, come in towards the statue, towards the front of the statue by 2, that's 1, 2. Then connect it all the way back up to where you were first building. What you then want to do is, starting from this center space that we have right here, you want to leave that space open, then place a white block there. So you want to leave one at the very bottom, leave a space, and then place a white directly above it, like that, to form kind of like an 8 shape. Once you have your 8 shape, this is what you want to do next. So we now want to take these bottom 2 right hand corner blocks and we want to extend them coming down towards the ground. So it'll look a little bit, we've done it to 1, a little bit like this. We then want to take each one of those blocks that we just extended and we want to, oh goddamn, we want to take them and we want to extend them coming inwards each by 1, and they also want to line up with, can you guys see the legs on the front? They want to line up with the legs on the front, so we want to extend them down until they hit the ground, and then on the inside we want to extend them coming towards the center of Grim each by 1. Not only do you want to do all of this on the left hand side of Grim, but you want to do the same thing on the right hand side of Grim. So we're now on the back right hand corner, we've got this back right hand corner block here, we want to extend it down by 5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to drag it towards the statue by 2, that's 1, 2. Then extend it coming up until you connect to the pelvis area again. Then take this empty space here, leave a block right at the bottom alone, and then place a white wall there to form a figure 8 shape. We then want to take the bottom right hand corner blocks that we have right here and extend these coming down until they hit the ground. That's 1 row, and that will be, whoops, wrong row, and it will be this one as well. You guys can see that it's the exact same on that side. I thought it was these back 2 corner blocks, but it's not. It's these ones that are closest towards the front of the statue. We then want to take each one of the blocks that we just placed down, and we want to extend them coming towards the center each by 1 like this. And then what we also want to do is we want to connect the bottom of the pelvis together. So we want to take these bottom corner blocks of the pelvis and we kind of just want to connect them together like that. So you kind of want to form a shape which should look like this, and we can also just fill in that little bottom part there. So you want to end up with a shape that should look a little bit like that. And once you've got that taken care of, we just have one thing left to do: Grim's tail. So you want to come all the way to the very back part of Grim, and you want to find the 3 center blocks of the very back of the pelvis area again. Now, 1 block below and 1 block outwards again, we want to do a layer of 3 white walls. So kind of just floating in the air all by itself, a row of 3 white wall. Then coming down from each one of those rows of white wall, we want to do a row of 7. So coming down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to take each one of those 3 rows and extend them coming towards us each by 1. So take each one of those blocks, extend them coming towards us each by 1, like that. Once you have that taken care of, that is Grim. So that's Grim's tail, and just to give him a bit of a look, just to give him a proper view, there you go. That is Grim in all of his glory, guys. That is him. Him is Grim, Grim is him. Perfect. Once you have all of that done, we can now admire the statue, because this, in my opinion, is actually a really cool looking statue. I really like this, and I can't believe that it took me this long to actually build him. So, that is Grim. You may have thought to yourself, and you may have noticed, I even pointed this out a little bit whilst we were actually building him. It isn't 100% accurately Grim, and here's why. The space between the legs is only supposed to be 2. The head is also slightly smaller on Grim. The reason for that is, for whatever reason, like in the actual like mob models, like you can stuff 2 blocks into like the space of 3, if that makes any sense, and you can still get like the definition for the nose. There's kind of like a half block system thing which you can't really replicate with like just regular Minecraft, so we had to alter Grim's structure a little bit, but this is about as close as I could possibly get without like blowing him up massive and out of proportion and stuff. Like this is actually pretty much Grim, except that he's ever so slightly wider than he is like actually. So we've made him like 1 block wider, but that means that we actually get all of the detail in the face that we want, which is the main important bit. But as a result of that, like his spine is slightly bigger and so is his tail, but he still looks perfectly fine and he looks perfectly great. So hopefully you guys like Grim. Hopefully you've managed to make him, and if you've done both of those things, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favourite, a share, anything you'd feel like doing to help me out, guys. I would always just vastly appreciate. You guys know that it helps me out tremendously, and I really love it when I get positive feedback on different kinds of builds like this. So if you guys wouldn't mind, like, favourite, share, comment down below what would you like to see me make next. I am completely up for anything that you guys feel like recommending, as long as it's not a crazy massive build. Like, favourite, share, check out the card system, there's loads more things in there, you might have even seen a couple of them as we've been making Grim scattered around the world. I'll also link a few more things that are related towards him that I think that you guys might really want to make. Thank you very much for watching, like, favourite, share, comment down below, check out the card system, and I'll see you guys in the next video.